I'll just say it, man. The 2024 NBA playoffs were one of the best postseasons in recent NBA memory. This postseason gave us a lot of iconic moments and stories that will last a generation. From Ant-Man's revenge tour on the two-time MVP, to a superstar finally establishing himself as one of the best players in the league today. From a fairy tale run in the East that came to a crushing end, to a player who led his team to the finals at just 25 years old, the 2024 NBA playoffs were a movie to say the least, and it's easily one of the most legendary postseasons in NBA history. The 2024 NBA season was just an appetizer to what we were about to see in the postseason. This season gave us a lot of great moments, and now we were finally at the end of the regular season, and now we're officially in playoff mode. To fully understand how these playoffs are so legendary, we have to look at our contenders. So here are your 2024 NBA playoff contenders.
I'm hoping that you even let the telephone ring. I got too much pride to call you up.
Out in the Western Conference, you have the Nuggets, a team who has fallen short multiple times in the postseason, but they think that they're ready to take that next leap after just winning a championship the prior season. They're looking for back-to-back titles for the first time in their franchise's history. The Dallas Mavericks, with their duo of Kyrie and Luka, are looking for a deep postseason run as they missed the playoffs the prior season and were looking for revenge against the Clippers. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a young team out west, and after losing in the first round to the eventual champion Denver Nuggets the prior season, the Wolves are looking for a deep playoff run. With their young and rising superstar in Anthony Edwards, he was looking to take that next leap to legendary status. After a chaotic season in LA, the Lakers, with their duo of AD and LeBron, were looking to repeat what they did last season. After starting off as the third team seed, they went all the way to the conference finals, where they unfortunately got swept by the Nuggets. Now with them drawing the Nuggets in the first round, LeBron's Lakers were looking for revenge and another potential deep playoff run. Out over in the Eastern Conference, you have the Donovan Mitchell-led Cavs, who were looking to make noise for the first time since LeBron was on the team. Their core was young, but was ready to take on the pressure of the playoff stage. The Jalen Brunson-led Knicks were coming into this postseason with vengeance on their mind. After losing to the Jimmy Butler-led Heat in the prior postseason, they were looking to get back to where they once were in the 90s, and were looking for a deep postseason run. The Giannis-led Bucks were looking for a deep postseason run after being eliminated in the second round in 2022 and then being eliminated by the 8th seed the prior season. But Giannis would go down with an injury late in the season, and his status is up in the air. Could they make a deep postseason run without him, or does Halliburton have something to say about it? The Pacers, led by their young star in Tyrese Halliburton, were in the postseason for the first time since 2018. They were looking to replicate the success of the Paul George days, but were they ready for the playoff stage, or does the Dame-led Bucks have something for him? And last but not least, we have the Boston Celtics, a team who has gotten deep in the playoffs multiple times, but just can't finish the job. After being eliminated in 7 games by the Heat in the prior season, and then losing to Curry in the 2022 finals, they were looking to finally make that championship push while also finishing the job. Do the Celtics have a championship in their future, or do the C's blow another opportunity at a championship? With that being said, those are your 2024 NBA playoff contenders. These contenders were ready to play, and this will be the ultimate setup for a legendary postseason.
I let you go for the first time, and I made mistakes to the worst kind.
Starting over in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics would stomp the Heat, beating them in a gentleman's sweep. Although Jimmy Butler was out for this series, the Celtics were just a different breed and team this season, and they're off to round 2 to take on either the Cavs or the Magic. The Pacers and Bucks would start their playoff rivalry out in the first round. The Bucks would take a 1-0 lead before the Pacers hit the Bucks with a lightning strike.
Halliburton takes it in the backcourt. Crosses over on Beverly. Float game for the win! Tyrese, the terror! The heroic, Herculean efforts of Tyrese Halliburton.
The Pacers would win that game and then win Game 4 to take a commanding 3-1 stranglehold over the series. The Bucks would win Game 5 before eventually losing to the Pacers in 6 games. The Halley show was officially here, and they're off to round 2. The Knicks and Sixers would have one of the better series of the first round. The Knicks, behind their star guard Jalen Brunson, would take Game 1 of this series before heading into Game 2. In Game 2, the game remained close throughout, and with 40 seconds remaining, the Knicks hit the devastating hook on the Sixers.
DiVincenzo comes out of the pack. DiVincenzo finds Brunson. Great defense here by the Sixers. Brunson gets a prayer of a bounce. Point game. Maxey hits the deck. Hart takes it from him. Shot clock is off. DiVincenzo, no. Hartenstein with an offensive rebound. Another chance here. DiVincenzo. He's got it! The Knicks have the lead again! Their defense turning into offense!
Donte DiVincenzo would strike a dagger into the hearts of Sixers fans to go up 2-0 in the series, and the Sixers would answer back in a big way in Game 5 of this series. And let's just say, Tyrese Maxey, well, he pulled off some demon shit.
And wrap up this series. Maxey floats it up and in, plus the foul. Knicks up by 3. 10 seconds left in Game 5. Maxey fires! He's got it! Tie game! 8.1 to play. Overtime at the Garden. Philadelphia is not done yet. Tyrese Maxey!
And the Sixers would answer back in Game 5 with a Tyrese Maxey 46-point performance to stay alive in the postseason. The Knicks would close the door on the series in 6 games, and they're off to round 2 to take on Halley and the Pacers. And to wrap up the East first round, we have an underrated classic series. 2 young teams in Cleveland and Orlando. This series would be one of the better series in recent memory. The first 5 games were split down the middle as both teams protected home court, and the Magic would strike back in Game 6 after the Cavs won in Game 5, and we had our first Game 7 of the playoffs. A Game 7 that saw Donovan Mitchell go demon mode.
Like we were all locked in, but ultimately we didn't end up with the victory, so we gotta go home and take care of business.
Suggs fighting over screens. Mitchell scoots away, gets inside. Layup is good. What a play from Donovan Mitchell. Jerky nature to his game. Mitchell! Got 5 bench players on the floor. Mitchell long distance. That's a 3! Donovan Mitchell with 35. Standing ovation here in Cleveland.
Mitchell erupts for 39 points to close out the young Magic and move on to the second round, where their opponent will be the best team in the Eastern Conference. But that's just it for the East though. Let's go out west.
Yeah. 901 Shelby Drive, look alive, niggas came up.
Over on the west side, the Thunder would clap the Pelicans in a 4-game sweep, and in Game 1 versus the Suns, Anthony Edwards would have his first playoff eruption, and he would show KD why he's up next.
Lex going to his left, spins right.
Baby.
Oh man, he was in his bag like the fries were at the bottom. There, Edwards. This time, KD picks him up. What a hezzy. Slams on the brakes. Edwards around the double team. Gotta look. Butter.
Where did these niggas be at when they said they
full
going out? That's not it.
And interesting now to see Kevin Durant take on the assignment.
Waking up in the crib.
Oh, Edwards, it's showtime. Room service. All set up by Gobert.
Hey, shawty come sit on my lap. Hey, they saying Drizzy just snap.
The Timberwolves, behind Ant-Man's leap to superstardom, would sweep the Suns in 4 games to advance to the second round, and the Mavericks would handle the Clippers in just 6 games that saw Luka and Kyrie completely dominate the Kawhi-less led Clippers, and they're off to round 2 to meet up with the best team in the West. In our final matchup in the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets, fresh off their championship in 2023, were taking on the LeBron and AD-led Lakers. The Nuggets would storm with a Game 1 victory before heading into Game 2, where the Lakers would hold an 8-point lead over the Nuggets with 5 minutes remaining. The Nuggets wouldn't give up, as they would inch closer and closer with every bucket, leading us to one of the most iconic moments from the 2024 playoffs.
Ball game, worst can happen, we go to overtime. Murray makes a move. Game zone. The Nuggets have won.
The Nuggets with a Jamal Murray dagger would take Game 2 of this series and were going up 2-0. The Nuggets would take the momentum into LA as they would blow out the Lakers in crypto before the Lakers responded with a much needed win in Game 4, leading us to Game 5 in Ball Arena. The game would stay close throughout until the final 26 seconds. LeBron gets fouled and will make 2 free throws to tie the game. Jamal Murray has the ball, and with a chance to advance to the second round, Jamal Murray became the Lakers killer.
We saw this in Game 2 with Murray with the game winner. It'll be Murray and Reeves. Difference of 2 seconds, the game clock and the shot clock. Worst case scenario, we're going to overtime. Jokic a screen, Murray to try to break the tie. No! Zero's on the clock. The Nuggets advance. They have won. And the defense of their championship title is alive and well.
Jamal Murray would take the hearts out of the Lakers' chest as they would win another thriller at the buzzer, and now the Nuggets were moving on to round 2, where their matchup will be against a 22-year-old superstar. That does it for round 1. Let's move on to the semis.
Hey, stop, don't talk to me, loser, lame, or wanna be like.
Starting us off in the semis is the Celtics and the Cavs. The Celtics would lay down nasty belt again to the Cavs, beating them in just 5 games, and they're off to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on either Hallie or Brunson. The Knicks would rock Indiana with 2 damaging hooks as they would take the first 2 games to go up 2-0. However, the Pacers didn't budge as they would take their home games as well to tie up the series at 2 games apiece. The Knicks would crush the Pacers at home to go up 3-2. Then the Pacers would respond with a monster win in Game 6, and we had a Game 7 in the Big Apple. In Game 7, with the season on the line, Dante DiVincenzo would drop a nuke of a performance, scoring 39 points, but it wouldn't matter as the Pacers held control of the lead the entire game, and they upset the second-seeded Knicks in round 2 to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where their opponent would be the Beast of the East. Out west, the Thunder's lightning strike would strike on Dallas in Game 1 as they blew them out to go up 1-0. The Mavericks will respond with a huge win in Game 2 to tie the series up at 1 game apiece. The Mavericks would again shock the Thunder in Game 3 to go up 2-1, and in Game 4, with the series pretty much on the line for the Thunder, SGA would drop a 34-point nuke on the Mavericks to tie the series up at 2 games apiece. Heading into Game 5 in OKC, his game was a much-needed win for both teams. The Mavericks would end up coming into OKC and stealing Game 5 from the Thunder, and now they were 1 game away from the conference finals. In Game 6 back in Dallas, SGA would drop a 36-point nuke again on the Mavericks, while Luka would put up his own 29 points on the game as well. It was a close game throughout, and with a huge foul called on SGA in the final seconds, PJ Washington would knock down 3 clutch free throws to ice the series for the Mavericks, and the Mavericks would upset the first-seeded Thunder, and they're off to the Western Conference Finals. In our final matchup of the second round, the 22-year-old rising superstar in Anthony Edwards would travel with his Wolves to Denver to take on the defending champion Denver Nuggets. In Game 1, the Nuggets would fall victim to the Ant-Man as he gave them a warning for the ages.
There are a lot of terrific players in the league, but Anthony Edwards' emergence seems different.
A superstar that has emerged before our very eyes that is 22 years old.
Fakes the three, penetrates inside with Murray defending. Finds Edwards, who makes a move by Gordon right to the hole.
Way too easy. Just a straight line drive.
13-0 run. Bumped off balance. Edwards got it to go. Quarter. Back from Jokic. Knocked away by Edwards. And the primary defender. Sizing him up. Spinning around. Got the jumper to three by Edwards. Gordon is out. Shot clock at 7. He'll dance. Great cut over. And a shot. What a play. Pope is over there. Shot clock at 5. Edwards working, leaning, spinning, shot, sticks it!
Ant-Man would drop a 43-point nuke on the defending champions to take a 1-0 lead in this series. The Wolves would continue the momentum into Game 2, but they would shockingly take both road games to go up 2-0 in the series. The Nuggets, with their season on the line, dominated in Game 3 to get the series to 2-1, before taking a huge Game 4 on the road as well to tie up the series at 2 games apiece. In Game 5 back at Ball Arena, the MVP of the league and the best player in the world would drop a 40-point nuke on the Wolves to go up 3-2, and we're now 1 game away from going back to the conference finals. In Game 6, with their season on the line, Ant-Man and his Wolves would drop a 45-point blowout on the defending champions, and we're heading to another Game 7. In Game 7, this game was huge for both teams. You win, and you get a chance for the NBA Finals. You lose, and your season is over. Both teams understood the assignment, but the Nuggets seemed to understand more as they held a near 20-point lead over the Wolves with 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The game was over. The Wolves just seemed to give up, but the game is still going. This is when the Wolves would strike the Nuggets with the lightning strike.
Oh, there's a steal by Edwards. Here he comes, and there he goes. Let's go Bear. Into Jokic, shot clock at 2. Quick shot. Back pedal, jabs, shot. Slammed in. Murray. He gets it off to Reed. Corner, Edwards, and shoots. Timeout.
And you don't need to foul right here.
Conley will slither inside. Oh my goodness, Towns! Karl Anthony Towns! That's it, the Timberwolves have knocked out the defending champion Denver Nuggets. They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Ant-Man and the Wolves overcame a 20-point deficit in Game 7, and they're off to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2004. The Wolves were finally back, and they just took out the defending champion and the MVP of the league. They're off to the Western Conference Finals, where their opponent is a man on a mission to get a championship. That's it for the semis. It's time for the conference finals. Show me how you fuck it up. You're a landmine. Over on the eastern side of the bracket, the Pacers were back in the East Finals for the first time in a decade, as their opponent was a team that was looking to cap off their fairy tale season with a championship. Game 1 was a thriller, as both teams were evenly matched throughout, and both teams knew that they had each other's number. The Pacers had control of the game with 8 seconds left until they turned it over, and with the Celtics being down by 3 points with 8 seconds left, they knew who to give the ball to in this instance and would give the Pacers a reality check.
Tatum trying to get free. Throw it in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the 3. Up the 3. Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the 3 to tie the game. Timeout, Indiana.
Anytime I step around your spot, you blow it down, you some I can't find. Hey, you do it better than my old hoes. How you keep me safe from all the bad guys?
Jaylen Brown drills a huge three-pointer to tie the game up as the Celtics force overtime, In the overtime period, the Pacers fell apart and the Celtics win Game 1 to go up 1-0. The Celtics would dominate over the Pacers in Game 2 before heading into Game 3, and the game remained close throughout, and with 20 seconds remaining, their best defensive player and piece from the offseason would come in huge.
Nembhard has it. Rick Carlisle says go. Nembhard drives into the paint, knocked away, and stolen by Holiday. Siakam trying to get him, and he fouled him with 1.1 remaining.
The Celtics would win in Game 3 and then win another close one in Game 4 to advance to the NBA Finals. The Celtics, who were the best team all season, finally made the finals, and Jaylen Brown would take home the Conference Finals MVP. And the Celtics are going to the NBA Finals, where they'll either be taking on Luka or the Ant-Man. In the Western Conference Finals, we got a holy grail of a matchup. Luka versus Ant, the rising superstar versus the Don. The Mavericks would take a thriller in Game 1 on the road, beating the Wolves 108-105. However, in Game 2, the Wolves held a pretty decent lead heading into the fourth quarter, and then with 12 seconds left, Ant gets a huge, possibly game-costing turnover that gives the Mavs the ball with 12 seconds left. Earlier on in the game, Rudy Gobert would elbow Luka, and that got Luka pissed off. And with 12 seconds left in the game, he would give the Defensive Player of the Year a nightmare to remember.
Gobert is out there. Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it! What a shot! Dallas has taken the lead. Dallas has won. The Mavericks go up 2-0, and Doncic with the game winner.
Luka hits a massive three-pointer over Gobert for his 32nd point of the night and the game sealer for the Mavericks. The Mavs take a 2-0 lead over the Wolves, and now they're heading back to Dallas up 2-0 in the series. In Game 3, the process would repeat again, as the Wolves had no answer for Kyrie and Luka as they dropped a combined 66 points on the Wolves as they take a commanding stranglehold on the series and go up 3-0. In Game 4, with their backs against the wall, the Wolves pull out a much-needed win in Game 4 to force a Game 5. However, in Game 5 of this series, the Mavericks blew out the Wolves to secure a spot in the NBA Finals. Luka Doncic had taken his team from the 5th seed all the way to the NBA Finals. This was a massive achievement for Luka and his team, and Luka would take home the Conference Finals MVP, and that would set us up for the NBA Finals. Dallas versus Boston. The matchup nobody expected at the beginning of the postseason, and we were in for a legendary duel between Luka and Jason Tatum.
They doing all this and all that. Tired of beefing you bums, you can't even pay me enough to react.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals was a movie to say the least. The nerves were at an all-time high. Tatum versus Luka, the future versus the future, the series to determine who has a stranglehold on this recent era of the NBA. Both teams came out gunning as both teams seemed dead even, but then all of a sudden, boom. The Celtics would drop a nuke to end the first quarter on a 9-0 run to make the lead 37-20. This was insane, and the Celtics would keep up the momentum of this game and would take Game 1 of these NBA Finals. The Celtics were just getting started and are now only 3 games away from an NBA championship. Game 2 of the series would follow suit, and this game was a lot closer than the first one. Luka was gunning early as he had a 13-point first quarter to help the Mavs get the lead early. Then the game would continue throughout, and Tatum was having a generational stinker. 6 of 16 from the field in this game too, with only 16 points. Luckily, his team picked up the slack for him in a crucial game that could have swung the series in any way for any team. White would make a dagger three-pointer with 3 minutes left to put the Celtics up by 14 points with 3 minutes remaining in the game. The Mavs then tried to come back, but it was too late. The Celtics, behind their dominant supporting cast, was able to overcome Luka in his great 32-point masterclass. The Celtics are now 2 games away from Banner 18 and take Game 2 of these 2024 NBA Finals. Game 3 of the series was another thriller to say the least. This game, both teams looked very evenly matched as both teams didn't want to lose this game. The Celtics wanted to go up 3-0, while the Mavericks were trying to avoid the 0-3 hole that no team in NBA Finals history has ever came back from. Jaylen Brown in the third quarter would hit a rim-shattering dunk over the Mavericks bigs to give the Celtics a 21-point lead with 1 minute remaining in the third. This game was over. Most people were assuming that the Celtics would cruise to an easy victory and that Dallas had been down and out. But in the fourth quarter, the Mavericks would go on a surge. A huge surge that would get them within 3 points with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Luka would play up on Jaylen Brown, but would foul him, and this would be Luka's 6th and final foul, meaning he was officially out of the game. This would hurt Dallas' chance at a possible comeback to win this game, as Kyrie tried his hardest to keep them in the game, but the Celtics' defense was too much to handle, as the Mavericks would again fall to the Celtics. The Celtics survive and win Game 3, and now they're 1 game away from Banner 18. The Celtics pack their bags for Game 4, as they're heading into Game 4 with a 3-0 series lead and a game away from their 18th championship. In Game 4 of this series, the Mavericks would give the Celtics nasty belt. They would get the lead early and wouldn't look back. The Mavericks would beat the Celtics by 38 points at home to force a Game 5 back in Boston. This series is now 3-1, heading back to Boston for a pivotal Game 5. Game 5 of this series would be the last game of this incredible postseason. After such an amazing postseason that was filled with iconic moments, rising stars becoming rising superstars, a team on a fairy tale run getting cut short of their ultimate goal, and a player finally getting his first championship. As the clock was winding down, a legacy was officially being written. A legacy that a kid from St. Louis always dreamed of. He always wanted to be on this final stage, and now he was officially here. He was always a great talent, but due to countless years of losing in the playoffs, and with a devastating finals loss in 2022, the fans never truly appreciated or realized how great he really was. But now they would finally know. They would finally know how great he was, who he was, and finally, just how generational he was. A duo that was built up on years of hardships and years of heartbreak finally came together, and now they were finally NBA champions. The Celtics' history may get another extra chapter in their story, but this is just the first of many chapters written in the duo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, or as we like to call them, the Jays. This was a day that they had been waiting for since they were first drafted. Now they finally had the chance to show the world on the biggest stage that they were ready. And I think after these 2024 NBA playoffs, they showed us that they were indeed ready for the final stage. These 2024 NBA playoffs were special, but these NBA playoffs will always be remembered as the playoffs Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum officially arrived.
With the third pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jaylen Brown from the University of California, Berkeley. With the third pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum from Duke University.
Up the Los Angeles Lakers on Wednesday night.
Harden goes for a 34-point triple-double. Durant with 24, Kyrie Irving.
That'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world. The foot. Tatum, one to fire in the lane, crashing into Vincent. And he twisted an ankle, perhaps. He did, the left one. Let's watch it again on that baseline. He tried to Euro. Tatum trying to get free. Throw it in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the three to tie the game. Timeout, Indiana. continues down a lane, up to Tatum. Sidestep, three-pointer, puts it up. Bang! That's it, it's over. The Celtics are heading back to the NBA Finals. And another crushing finish for these Indiana Pacers. Assist for Green, Curry a long three. That's good! Steph Curry from way downtown. Some Curry chaos here in the third. Tatum the drive, Tatum the finish. Timeout Dallas. All the work, all the sacrifice, handling the enormous weight of massive expectations. Ends tonight here. It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured. The Celtics are NBA champions.
It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it!
Bill Russell would be so proud. The 2024 Bill Russell Finals MVP goes to Jaylen Brown.